Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie, I am from Austria and this is episode number 55. Hello, I am so glad you could join me once again. I do have a few finished objects for you, some yarn acquisitions, and I just thought it would be nice to get one last podcast episode in before the new year starts, so that's why we're here. I have got a very hot cup of coffee right here. We'll see how coffee will do with my body. So grab your knitting, grab yourself a beverage and let's get started. I have not been feeling like making a lot of big projects lately. If you have been around for a little while, you will have noticed that I haven't finished any sweaters or cardigans or any just like garments in general in a really long time. And that is not normal, so I'm really deep in a knitting slump. I do still knit, but just not anything like super exciting, not any big things. But I think I will just show you what I have and what I have finished, etc. I think I have everything here that I need. So the first thing, and I think also the most exciting thing, because it's just so cute, is the mini stocking garland. This is a free pattern on Ravelry by the Blue Mouse, I think. Really lovely pattern. I've talked about it in length in my last video, in my latest podcast as well. And here is what I have so far. What you do is you use up scraps, or at least I'm using up scraps, and you make these really cute small mini stockings. They're really fast. You work on 5mm needles. The recommended yarn is the DK weight, and I think one sock takes me about an hour, and you can really like have fun with the colors. So last time I think I only had 1 or 2 socks, and now I have 5. I think 5 is also a good number. I have a plain red, a plain white, a plain green, and then a striped green and white, and a heavily striped red and white. I'm really happy with how they turned out. I'm not gonna block them because it is decoration. It's not anything that I'm gonna wear that needs to look super nice and neat, etc. But I've been really feeling like making some decorations, something, you know, to hang up on my bookshelf was the idea behind it. So I'm really happy that I stumbled upon this pattern. Color wise, I think it's okay. I think I could do with another green stock, but then again my bookshelf is not the widest in general and I don't want it to be super crowded, and let's be honest, it's already the 17th. When you're watching this video it's probably even later, so Christmas is basically over, like the Christmas period where you have all of the decorations up. So there's no really, I'm not gonna see a lot of this for this year. But I had a lot of fun making these small stockings. I also made the string already. I will block this one though because I do want to stretch it out. It's just a basic I-cord. I think I used a 4-stitch I-cord. I could be wrong on that. I don't think there is anything in the pattern on how many stitches you need or how wide you should make it, so I just opted for 4. And I made it quite long, so once I block it I will be able to stretch it out even more and hopefully get the span of the bookshelf on it. And then I also already have 3 of these also I-cord like bits, and what you do is you attach them to your sock. You just sew them on, something like that, so you have a little loop and that's where the string goes through, so you can hang it up. I think it's gonna look really cute. I'm really happy that I also used up a lot of my scraps. This white yarn is, I think, either completely gone or gone to the point where I only have like half a meter left. This one was lamb's wool by Fernavore. The green one is also scrap. We are knitters not Merry Fine. The merino wool. It's quite a thick yarn. It's not a DK weight. It's actually an Aran weight, but it was fine. I just used it as a DK weight, and it didn't even turn out that much bigger than the normal DK weight one. Maybe I'm off by like 3 or 4 stitches maybe. Then the red one, this one's a bit of a funny one because the red is kind of a scrap. It's Drops Lima. I have it here in this gorgeous dark red colour. I loved working with this yarn. It's alpaca and wool. 65% wool, 35% alpaca. I love working with it. I actually really like having it on my skin as well. I do have a lot more in my stash, not in this colour, but I've had it for years. Anyway, that's a different story. These, I bought 4 balls with 3 balls being bundled together for a project, and the third one was for a different project from a hot water bottle cover, and then I used up that leftover completely, which is what I'm going to talk about next. So basically the point is I don't have enough yarn to make like the little loops in this yarn for the red socks, also not for the string itself, so I just used some Holst super soft yarn. The colour is different, yes. The reds obviously are not the same. You can see this one is a lot darker than this one, but like I said, it's decoration. It's not like anyone's really gonna complain, and at the end of the day it's probably just me who has to look at it anyways. So that is the first like finished object that I have. My garland, I still have to put it together. I will show you the finished object like as its whole in its whole beauty some other time. But I have another finished object. There's one more sock, and that's where we'll get into the whole Drops Lima dilemma. I had quite a few left of one of the balls, and I thought it would be enough to complete a December bow. December bow is a pattern by PetiteKnit. I've been wanting to make this one for a really long time, but to me it just wasn't worth paying like €5 for something that just looks so simple. But this year I saw Laura Penrose make lots of bows, and I just once again fell in love with the concept, and I really want to have it as a hair accessory. So I cast it on in this really nice red colour, and I used up the whole ball, which is why I didn't have enough to make the string or any more socks, and also why I had to break into the second or like one of the skeins that's actually dedicated to a project. So I'm really hoping and praying that I still have enough for the Dove Shawl by Sari Nordland, which is what this yarn will be used for. And meterage wise, I was only getting like 50 meters or 60 meters extra, because that's just how much you get in one and how much you needed from the pattern. You get 100 meters in one, so I had 300 meters in total for the shawl, but the pattern recommended you will only need 200 and I don't know 30 meters or something like that. So I had a little bit extra, which is why I could finish this one, because I was short on that one as well. Yarn wise, I was playing a bit of yarn chicken. And it's not long enough. I know that it's not the recommended size that it should be from tip to before you decrease again, but I thought with blocking I might be able to stretch it to the required length that I need to have this really nice bow. I also don't yet have the little tie that is in between, so it's actually a bow. I don't know how you make the bow yet. It's the bit in between. I don't have that yet. I was thinking about either making it in this yarn and just risking not having enough for the dove shawl pattern, or just using some string, and instead of actually knitting the in-between bit and just wrapping the yarn like a couple of times around it just so it's cinched in, and then tying it off and leaving it at that. I'm not yet sure. I have to block this one first to see how much length I can actually get out and what look what I prefer and what looks nice. But this one I really want to have on, I really want to wear it at Christmas. We celebrate on the 24th in the evening, and I would really like to have this as a hair accessory. So I just need to put it in the wash. And then I was so motivated and so happy with how this turned out that I really wanted to make another one, but this one where I already knew I would have enough yarn, first of all, and second of all, one where I also knit to the required length, which is also why we are now in the whip section, because, well, kind of whip, because it's basically at the same point as the red one. But this is my second December bow. It is a lot longer. It is the required length. As you can see how much shorter I had to knit the red one. I think it will be fine though. But yeah, these are also scraps. I used Drops Kid Silk. I really don't like wearing kid silk, and I still have quite a lot. I sold a lot this year. I actually sold some yesterday to get, you know, some money back and for someone else to actually use it. But I still have like the odds like skeins and scraps, something that I just used and then not continued here and there. So this is one of them. This is Drops Kid Silk in a gorgeous light blue, color number 5. And I held it double with Drops Flora. I can't tell you what color this one is because I've had it for literal years. It must have been like, it must be like 3 years. Could be wrong on that, but it's been a while. It's really been a long time since I bought it. And these were also scraps and leftovers from a sweater that I actually designed myself, and that doesn't fit properly, so I will probably have to rip it out sometime in the future. That is just not for today. So this is what it looks like. You have, obviously, with the kid silk, the mohair, a really nice halo. I think it will be fine wearing it in my hair because this mohair just itches like crazy. I cannot stand to have it on my skin. So if I can't tolerate it, or if the fabric is too drapey, because it is very drapey and the bow kind of does need some structural integrity to hold it up, then I will just gift it as a Christmas present instead of having like a plastic bow, just a knitted one. Yeah, so those were my two December bows. Very happy with them. And then I cast on another one. I just with the same yarn, I used up one of these completely, so I have, you know, half of my scraps for this yarn out of my stash forever completely, which is really nice. And then yesterday I cast on another one, but for this one I won't make it as wide, so I will probably leave it at this width because I want to make a smaller one. And first of all, because it will be quicker to knit, and second of all, because I'm thinking of either having this one as like a clip in your hair instead of like the big bow in the back, or again gifting it to someone else as like the bow for their Christmas present. I haven't decided yet. I just know I want this yarn out of my stash, and this just really seems like a great stash buster. Right, let's have a coffee break. I haven't told you about what I'm wearing. Maybe I should mention that one as well. This is the Dawny Sweater by Rebecca Clow. I knit this in some gorgeous yarn. I knit this in Lana in the colour Caramel, I think. And the main yarn was yarn that I actually bought in England. I can't remember what the brand was called, but it's called Marble, and it's a blend of wool and viscose, I think, or silk. I could be wrong. It's been a while. This one I knitted 2 years ago now. It was truly a labor of love. All of these cables took so long, and the pattern back then had a mistake at the very beginning. I made size 3. And I'm really happy with it. The yarn choice, it's very warm, it's very insulating. So if I'm cold, or if I know I have to go out and stand in the cold for a while, I will grab this one. The fit is really nice, and yeah, really happy with this one. Another whip I have to talk about. I'm not going to talk about any of the whips that I haven't worked on this time, but something else I have been working on and then I had to stop, and I'm going to tell you why, is the Kilometre Scarf by Florence Miller. It's once again a free pattern. We love free patterns, and it's a really simple but nice looking scarf. I'm making this for my boyfriend. He requested it, and I don't love making scarves. I know I said it last time, but it has just been a great mindless knit, I have to say. Also, I changed to the longer needles. I worked on the shorties last time, and then I swapped to my regular long ones. You work on, it doesn't even say anymore, I think 4.5mm needles, and it's just going in the round for a really long time. So this is what I have. I have used up almost all of the yarn now that I had in my stash, which is also why I had to stop. I calculated how many centimeters I needed to knit for it to be done by Christmas, and there was only like 3 or 4 centimeters a day. But the problem that I stumbled upon then was, once I reached this point, because I'm holding the yarn double, I ran out of yarn. And I knew that in the beginning. What I didn't know is that the yarn, they don't produce it anymore. So this yarn is Lana Grossa Soffio. This is the color 14. It's a light grey. It's a beautiful fluffy yarn. It's a great alpaca alternative, or mohair alternative as well. It is a blend of wool, cashmere and cotton. Really nice to work with, really nice to the touch as well, not itchy at all. And in one ball you get, I think, 200 something meters. We'll see about that in the acquisitions part. But I ran out of yarn, and I didn't want to completely use up this one because I knew I would need more yarn. and I wanted to have a little bit of a fade if the dye loads differ quite a lot, because that yarn I bought in, what was it, February, March time, something like that. So I wasn't able to get anything, like any more yarn from where I actually bought it from. So yeah, this is where we are. Obviously it's not gonna be done by Christmas. I'm really gutted about it because I really wanted to have it finished and to gift it, but sadly it just wasn't meant to be. That is really the one and only whip I have been working on. But now getting to the acquisitions part, because this saga isn't over just yet. Here we are, I got it today, so I'm really excited to show you and to finally have it. But it's a little bit of a, it's not complete joy and happiness. So this is the yarn. Here we go. You'll get 215 meters in 25 grams. It's 10% cashmere, 30% cotton and 60% merino superfine wool. Lovely blend, really like working with it. I need 5 more balls. I only have 2 here. When I noticed that I will run out of yarn fairly quickly, I started looking around where I could find more of this yarn, and I found this website. I'm not gonna name them, but I am very unhappy with the service, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm not someone who likes to trash talk like companies or whatever. I think I'm a very reasonable person, especially because I also work, or kind of work, in that area with working with people. But I'm really not happy, because what happened is more than 3 weeks ago I placed an order, and it specifically said on the website they had 5 more balls in stock. So obviously I ordered all of these 5 balls. A week later, so I didn't get any notification or whatever, a week later I get an email back saying they have received my order, but because they ran out of yarn, they had to order new yarn in, and it will take a little while for it to get there, but I shouldn't worry, it's just gonna take longer, it's just gonna take more time. So I thought, you know, fine, whatever. Usually these things happen fairly fast, especially because they know a customer's waiting. I didn't hear anything for another 2 weeks, until a few days ago I had to send an email to them and say, look guys, like, I'm really sorry, but it's been 3 weeks. What time can I expect my order to arrive at? And then they said, oh, we are really sorry, this yarn that you want isn't in stock anymore because they don't produce this color anymore. We only have 2 left. And I was like, well, obviously then I'm just gonna take the 2, but like, why did I have to contact them for them to tell me, or is actually like this order that they were waiting for is never going to arrive because it just doesn't exist anymore. I don't know if I'm too harsh, but I was really annoyed because it's been 3 weeks and I had to contact them, and that to me is just not great service. Obviously they returned the money, and it arrived within like 1 or 2 days. That's fine, but I was just overall really unhappy with how they handled it. So now I only have 2 more. I already found another seller who has apparently 10 in stock, and that one is also based in Austria, so I could have just ordered everything there because I've ordered from that shop loads of times before. My fault that I didn't check everyone and all of the shops that I personally have experience with. So I will have to get 3 more balls. Maybe I can stretch the fabric and get it to the length that is required. I don't know, just so I don't have to buy any more yarn, because that whole bit took just more joy out of the project than it already is. It's already not a great like knit and a joyful knit for me, like work wise, and that just is just another bummer. Anyways, I have one more yarn, which is why I only bought this because of also the delivery costs, and I didn't want to just get this one yarn. But now in hindsight, because I only got the 2 balls and not the 5 that I require, it's kind of, it's not a waste of money. Yarn is never a waste of money in my opinion, but it's I don't know if you know what I mean. Anyways, this yarn is Lang Yarns. It's the Yavol Superwash. This is what it looks like in this really nice burgundy color. The color is 83.0084. It's 70% wool, 25% polyamide, and the really cool thing with this one is you get a spool of reinforcement yarn on the inside. They are known for doing this, and I've been wanting to try this yarn for a while as well. Obviously it is sock yarn, and obviously it is very thin. 30 stitches per 10 centimeters, so that's going to be another fingering, a pair of fingering weight socks. But this one will just go into my stash, and maybe I will cast on some socks in the near future. I don't know, because as you know, socks are not my greatest pleasure in life in making stuff. Right, so that was everything. I know it's been, I was moaning a lot about the whole yarn dilemma, etc. Anyways, I still hope that you enjoyed this very last episode before the end of 2025. I hope you're all excited for 2026. It's probably going to be a great year with lots of ups and downs, lots of new experiences and learnings. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Have a lovely Christmas and New Year if we don't see each other before that. Obviously also if you are celebrating those 2 like events. And I hope you have a great time gift knitting all of those last minute gift knitting knits. Happy knitting, bye!